Welcome everybody to Too Legit to Crit, a tabletop role-playing podcast like any good table can take a extended hiatus and come back the very next day, just as we haven't left the table at all. My name is Juan Santana, and with me I have new hosts. There is a lot to talk about, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So, first of all, Zoop, do you want to go first?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Zoop. You can find me online as Zoop Machine on anything that you want. If I'm there, I'm a Zoop Machine. The one caveat is Reddit, but don't go looking for me on Reddit anyways. And my mother calls me Supriya, and I'm really excited to be here.
I just want to ask, what would we find if we went looking for you on Reddit? Have you got some?
No,
I don't know.
I don't know that I have ever commented on Reddit. But I read a lot of "Am I the Asshole?"
Okay, all right. Yeah, sorry, it took me a moment to realize. Yeah.
Read a lot of that page, the "Am I the Asshole?" page.
I'm old, so a lot of these internet thingies escape me a tiny bit. I have a delayed reaction to a lot of things.
I love "Am I the Asshole?" posts because I'll read them and be like, no, you're not the asshole. You were absolutely in the right here. Or occasionally you'll get the, oh no, you fucked up bad.
You're definitely the asshole.
All right, so Misfit, do you want to tell us about yourself?
Hi, I'm Misfit. Misfit Playland everywhere on the internet. You probably know me from somewhere on the internet because I don't shut up about telling you to take care of yourself, or B, I just play a lot of games and I happen to be in a lot of games and like I do stuff. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I mean, you and I are actually in a game together, aren't we?
We are. Are we playing tomorrow, by the way?
I do not know. I'll talk to you after the. I'm not entirely sure if that's the case. Yeah. So we are in GM Mistress Winter's Parasand game together, where that is just chaos in general, and it's lovely. It's such a fun fucking game. So
it really is.
So before we actually get into gaming, I think there are a couple of things that we do need to address. First of all is the hiatus. It was a semi-unplanned hiatus because I was moving at the time, and I initially thought I would be able to juggle the move as well as the show, as well as the games. And something happened where, I fucked up with something, and the way it hit me, the way it kind of affected me on a sort of visceral level, it made me realize that, holy shit, I need a break. So, hence, I took a bit of a mental health break, which, it was going to be 6 weeks, but we've extended it a tiny bit. And the other thing that we need to mention is, obviously, during that hiatus, Atlas left the show. It's for personal reasons, which I'm not at liberty to get into. I do not. But, we wish her all the best, and, we love her, and she's more than welcome to come join us anytime once things kind of get sorted. So, in the meantime, we were already speaking to Zoop about becoming our third person on the show, because I think 3 people makes the show easier to manage in the long run, where if one person can't make it, we can still put a show out. But also it gives us a third perspective rather than hearing the same 2 voices going over again. So, welcome to Zoom. Thank you ever so much. I'm so excited to have you on board. And then straight after that, once Atlas decided to take a step back, I started contacting friends, and Misfit decided to come and join us, and this is going to be absolutely amazing. And I just want to give a big shout out and chat to GM Justin, who has just joined us.
Hello. Hi, Justin. Yay. Welcome.
So this episode is going to be quite unscripted because I've got nothing planned,
Yeah.
but I feel like there's a lot to talk about here because, people need to know about you. You have two fantastic people, very prominent voices in this TTRPG community, and you
God,
play
I'm being perceived.
you play a lot.
Uh-huh.
You play a lot of games.
Well, I think one of the ways that I'm probably known right now, because like I play a lot of games, but they're like, one shots, or they're like much smaller channels, is we ran FOMOCon during Gen Con, and Misfit was one of the first people on board with me, and did a whole lot to help bring it together. And so for any of you who missed it, we ran an online convention out of a Discord server during Gen Con for everybody who didn't have a chance to go to Gen Con. And I will let you know that we are planning on doing it again for PAX U. I will personally be at PAX U, but I do have a slate of people who are still putting it together. Unfortunately, with stuff going on in my life, we haven't moved forward yet, but we're going to be very quickly doing that. And we're rebranding it as Con Zero. As a nod to Session Zeros and the importance of communication, of safety, of planning, of making of having that connection that you make in the Session Zero, where you learn about each other and you care about each other. And I think that that'll be really great.
I think that's some phenomenal work, and I think the whole FOMOCon thing, that was what it kind of relates to what I was saying before about me being old, because I started seeing people on Discord. It's like with that tag, the FOMO tag, and it's like, this is an internet. I know this is an internet. I just don't understand this internet. And it took me about a week to realize what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, FOMOCon turned out to be like wildly successful for how short of a time frame we everything came together. Like, it was literally Zope had the idea, and then a week later there was an army of people making sure it happened. It was the coolest thing.
It really was.
Yeah,
I mean,
please.
I was gonna say, one thing that I will say is, and no offense to you, Juan, but shout out to an all-femme crew. Like, holy shit, it was all like, people would be like, is it okay? And everyone's like, yes, you're doing amazing. And like literally every other sentence was like, you're doing amazing. Like, you're making this thing happen. And it was
wildly supportive.
Yeah.
No, I mean, no offense taken. I mean, I now live with a woman. You guys get shit done.
Yep. We are the epitome of, if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. Now, my partner, if there's a will, there's a way to make me do it.
I mean,
Perfect.
sometimes,
Yes, I am now living with a lady person, and it is...
I can't reach the top shelf. Like, I'm too short. So, like, for everyone out there, I'm actually 5'4". I have tall girl energy. I know. I'm actually 5'4". I am very short. And our brand new, the counters here are so, like, tall in comparison to me that I actually have to, like, jump up on them to get to the very top shelf. Or I'll just ask my human, be like, can you get to the top shelf, please? You put something up there that I need. Don't do that.
Well, the thing is, my partner and I are the same height. Although she is adamant she's taller than me, but that's another conversation entirely. The actual tallest person in the household is her daughter, so it's can you raise that for us, because we're both short.
I understand. I also speak short, people. It's cool.
Yeah, 5'2".
Oh, yes! Short people gang!
I am a bit taller. I'm 5'7", but I still feel short. I'd still consider myself a short person. So let's go on to games. Let's go on to this wonderful hobby that we have. I know one of you is in about 5 games and doesn't like to mention it at all.
And one of us is missing games so much, so excited to get back into it.
Okay, so let's start there then. Let's start with what, out of all the games that you normally play, is there any in particular that you want to mention that you are eager, just kind of chomping at the bit to get back to?
Well, I think it's going to be all new games. I think most of the stuff that I had done had wrapped up. So, but I'm really excited. I'm playing in a game run in the system Relic, which is a who did Relic?
Googling a Relic now.
Yeah. Houndsong Games made Relic. Another one is
I just want to point out that I Google Relict, and because I didn't know how to spell it, Google thinks I mean relict. No. So that's not right.
Let's see. I have to go back and look at my list of games. One of them is D&D, which is very uncommon for me. But it will be a mini series, high level D&D, and I'm excited to check out 2024 and see what that gives. But other than that, yeah, it's mostly the indies.
Fair enough. And Miss Fate, what have you been up to? Any games of note that you want to talk about?
Okay, let's go down the list. In October, in October, the Vampire the Masquerade podcast that I'm in is going to be finally releasing episodes, and I'm super, super excited for people to meet my little disaster and the rest of her coterie, because we're all kind of disasters in our own special way. On the 16th on Roll D5, I will be playing Call of Cthulhu. Let's see.
Nice.
I have a bunch of home games. So I have 2 other vampire home games that I'm in. I have Pathfinder.
I'd have been slightly offended had you not have remembered that one.
We miss Shepard a lot.
Tell me about this Pathfinder game. God. Is it like a homebrew story, or is it a module?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a homebrew story.
It's homebrew story, homebrew world.
Yep.
And everything's homebrew. Winter's putting together just such a vibrant, unique world that we're playing in. And I think very early on, we started the campaign in kind of one direction. But then
those characters died.
Then two out.
Wait, okay, your character. Okay, so what is it about?
Died.
Sometimes people do say that low level D&D, low level, we're talking levels 1 through 3, is pretty
it's brutal. It's freaking brutal.
It's brutal. But even in levels 1 to 3 in D&D, I don't think I've ever seen somebody kick it. But Pathfinder, we played Abomination Vaults and ended up with
Ow.
Yeah, we played Abomination Vaults, and I was reading a little bit about it afterwards, and they were like if you want to be nice to your players, have your players be 1 level above the the level that they're on. But no, my GM had us like, you were level 1 when you were on level 1, you were level 2 when you were on level 2, and pretty much level 1, I think half our party got wiped out in one fight.
Pathfinder is, honestly, objectively speaking, I've been playing Pathfinder for a long time and I've GM'd it for a long time. It's hard to kill characters. It does take a lot. At any level from 1 to 20, it is hard to kill characters, but sometimes the dice just go against you. And you were saying Abomination Vaults, I've run that, I've completed that. And I think it was
all three volumes?
All three, yeah, I've done all of them. And it was in book 1, I had about 5 character deaths.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to do, but it happens. And Winter's Game was like that. We went into a fight, and I've always maintained that a lot of character deaths in Pathfinder are because the system gives you a false sense of security. Players kind of ease back and just kind of go, yeah, it'll be all right. I'm down. I'll get, someone will bring me back up. And that's what happened with Chris and I in Winter's Game.
Okay, hold on. We also went into that without a healer, with 0 health potions. We were so underprepared. And like, my character made a choice. She made a choice. Was it the right choice? Obviously not, because 2 people died.
The right choice would have been not going in the fucking cave to begin with. Let's be honest.
No, the right choice would have been to release the like abomination monster and let that deal with everything else. But no, I tried to disintegrate it with acid.
But I will say it was the best thing to happen to that game for me, because
Shepard's a riot.
We started the campaign and I was playing a very, very intense character.
We all were. God,
was playing we all came in with this fucking edgelord energy. And it was good. It was fun. It was great. And I had some really good, personally, really good roleplay moments that I'll always remember. But they died. And then Chris and I were talking about it because we worked together. I was talking about it the next day. And I just want to do something fun this time. And I created basically an android character who doesn't know how to be a human. And then Chris created he tries to be a human. And the whole campaign just took a shift where we're failing forward somehow, and it's fantastic. I love everything about it.
We're actually doing pretty well. We do miss Shepard. We would like Shepard back.
I'm hoping Shepard comes back. I don't. We'll talk about that after, but hopefully he can come back soon. But
now my character is the only super serious one, and she's softened a lot. She's like, oh, okay, I guess I don't have to be a thorny bitch all the time. Only some of the time.
And I think there's one person in the party that has any sort of social awareness whatsoever.
Thank you, Bragdon. Thank you for being the face of the party.
He is the babysitter.
He is.
So this leads me to a question that is separate from this game, which is, have you ever played in a game where there was a mismatch of intensity expectation?
Oh,
like the player and the there's just a separation between the players and the GM.
No, between the players.
Oh,
so one player comes. I will say yes, but it was done for comedic purposes.
So I'm asking, like, have you ever had it where it did not work? Where, like,
Yes.
someone
Yes.
came in with a completely different idea of what they wanted going on than, like, everybody else?
That's a
Yes.
good question. I'll let someone else answer while I ponder that.
I've definitely had it in multiple games, actually. I am one of those people who I will play at almost any table. I will say yes. I believe in giving people a chance. But that comes from years of being like, oh, this table's not for me. I'm out, because I would rather not be at a table and find
Mhm.
one that I jive with versus like staying in a game that might make me not like the system or
Yeah.
just leave a bad taste in my mouth. So I'll play in anything. I'll almost always say yes if I have time. Uh,
I've been in that position where, to be honest, I've been the stick in the mud.
mhm.
Is that the right one? But basically, I was playing. It was a Pathfinder Society scenario where I was playing with some very seasoned and very long, like long in the tooth sort of players who were very. I want to check every door 3 times for traps, and I want to, very sort of metagamey, old school D&D types. And then there was me just kind of going, why are we fucking about? Let's open the door. Just, I would just barrel in, and I'd get him. Like, yeah, I caused so much trouble in that game. Partly
So
because
it's
I did
interesting
enjoy it.
because that does suggest like that there's two different ways, because like the way I'm thinking is like one person coming in like way more intense, which is what I experienced.
The party edgelord.
It wasn't even an edgelord, it was just one person decided to play someone so traumaful, and everyone else was like, I'm just here to have a good time after work. And it ended up derailing the whole thing because everybody else was like, this game is actually giving me anxiety every time we play
Oh,
because
that's
of
not
how
good.
intense it is. Yeah. So that
Yeah.
ended up falling apart. But it sounds like we can have other games where like you can end up going in, and if you are like the only one who's like super like happy go lucky and you don't have the buy-in of the other characters, that
I
can also
ran
be difficult.
I used to run a Monster of the Week game, and all of my players, and like, so my Monster of the Week game was set in Gravity Falls, and I straight up told them, I was like, hijinks are welcomed, and cartoon rules apply. So like, no, if something drops on your head, you're gonna get a lump instead of dying.
Yeah.
Right.
And so like everyone kind of matched that energy. I had a Dolly Parton werewolf, which was super fun. I loved her. It was great. And like I even had someone who played a more serious like character, but they played them so silly that they didn't come across serious. And then I had one player who did not match the tone. They came in with a super hardcore character, super serious, wanted to make everything really serious and really hardcore, and I was like, that's not the vibe of this game. But I tried to give them some serious moments, but like at the end of the day, I ended up having to pull them aside and have a conversation and be like, I think something's not working here. We need to talk about your character's relation to everybody else in this world.
So how was that able to how were you able to deal with that in the end? Like, was the player able to hear that and make an adjustment to their character?
Yes.
Okay.
They really listened, not without some like protest, but then, I was like, we're both kind of missing the mark here. We're talking in circles. Let's just take a step back. Let's both think in our own corners and like come back and like talk things out rationally. So they left, I left. I was like, I need to clear my brain of this. They cleared their brain, and then when we came back, they were like, okay, yes, I am playing a more serious character. Yes, I would like more serious things. but I can also match the tone and tone myself down. And I was like, that's all I'm asking for. Thank you.
So in that case, you found that the solution to the issue was to talk about it, and they had to make some compromises from what they wanted to play. Did you end up having to make some compromises as well?
Yeah, I purposefully would make scenes that were geared towards their character, and that were on the very heavy side and very heavy toned, where everyone else, if they wanted to participate in those scenes, they could, or I gave them the option to just leave the room, essentially.
Okay, that is a really smart way to do. I mean, that sounds really great that like both of you were making those concessions and like finding a way to compromise where your player was like, okay, for the most part I'll tone it down, but you give me like little nuggets, and that's like really great. I mean, that sounds like a much better outcome than, oh no, everybody left because they were like, oh, I can't do this.
I think a lot of problems that the TTRPG tables have, and a lot of times, is that lack of communication.
Yeah.
I think people, like, especially when you read some of these stories between GMs and players, my GM did this, my player did that. I think a lot of times if you just put them in a room together and kind of go, right, fucking discuss, they will get to a point where, you know, they will reach some mutual agreement. But I think there's a fear from people.
Communication's hard.
Of having those conversations. Oh, what if I upset somebody? What if I, you know, and okay, maybe you will, but
I would rather be upset in for short term than have everything fall apart because of a disagreement. Like, it's like ripping a Band-Aid off. I would rather just rip it off, get it over with, and then like we can get back to having fun.
Yeah.
And I really like this situation that you're describing where you were able to compromise. I think in my particular situation, if I had I was trying to adjust it, but I was trying to adjust it to match everyone too slowly without like checking in on my other players that were feeling kind of overwhelmed. I was like more focused on like getting the one player to kind of adjust slowly in a way that kept her comfortable. But sometimes the table just isn't right for you. Like sometimes you have to be like, this is my style of play, and this is not matching my style of play. And I think AP folks, they experience that you're gonna disagree. Ooh, tell me.
No. I'm actually a hardcore agree with you. I went through something like very similar this year. So like I actually took a huge step back from the TTRPG space, from the AP community as a whole, this past year, because like I started picking up a lot of roles that were like silly and lighthearted and like it's fun every once in a while for me. I really enjoy playing traumatic ass characters. I enjoy making people cry. I enjoy crying. That sounds super emo, I'm aware.
Listen.
But like I love bringing those hard emotions out in characters, and it took me a long time to realize that. And now that I've finally realized it, I'm finding games that align more to the type of stories I want to play. And now those stories are so much more impactful. Like I cannot wait for my vampire podcast to come out, because like her prologue, my character's prologue will make somebody cry. I cry. There are several points in that prologue where I am crying.
And like I wanna like take a minute to like, you know, impress to like people who are listening that there is no right way to enjoy your story. Like if you do enjoy really intense role play, then you should do it, and you should find the tables that do it. But there is nothing wrong with also being a lighthearted player. I think that like sometimes there's that feeling of, oh, like, if
They're
I can't
important.
play nitty gritty, like, do I really have like a thing? But even in the lighthearted, there is so much craft that goes into making a lighthearted, um, like, to making comedy, to making something funny, like paying attention to the rules of improv and the give and the take. And so, like, don't, you know, all ways of playing are good, and definitely, you know, you find your way of playing and then find people who can match that with you.
Mm-hmm. It's there is a power in knowing what type of stories you want to tell.
Yes.
I mean, like if we're like talking about personal sort of preferences, I do enjoy the more comedic side characters. I like the characters that have not necessarily always cracking the jokes, but I do like characters that do seem to be, you know, quite light-hearted, but at the same time, I like those light-hearted characters to have an unexpected depth.
Yes.
Um,
Or they find an unexpected, like something
yeah,
happens to them that doesn't necessarily take their light away, but it gives them
it's
that depth.
like Akira in our Parasand game. She was a fish out of water character, so a lot of the faux pas that she did in society were, you know, were quite natural for her as a character. But when that intensity had to switch on, again, it's a weird sort of rush that you get when you've got somebody's attention.
Mm-hmm.
And there was
Mm-hmm.
one specific part of that story, of Akira's story, where I got people's attention, where, you know, something happened and I was basically intimidating an old man.
It was no. That scene was great. Hold on. But that was also the scene where I realized, because like my character was holding this old man. She's made of vines. Um, she is the reincarnation of a druid that was created by a bunch of dryads after their home had been destroyed. So she's filled with nothing but hate and anger and rage. She's a fun character. She's spiky.
She's awesome.
But she was
Literally,
awesome.
literally spiky.
Yeah,
she's thorny.
She's modeled after a bougainvillea bush. So like bougainvilleas have thorns like this freaking long. They're great. But she had this old man wrapped in spikes, and she was like holding a spike right underneath his chin. And then there's Akira, who's like, I'll cut you. I will kill you right now. Tell us the information that we want. And like, then there was our other character who was just like, okay, I'm gonna be here.
It's like, okay, the train has left the station and I am on this train. So I am not going to be involved in driving it, but I'm going to sit here and deal with it.
It was a good, and like there's been a couple of things because Shepard's a ridiculous fucking character.
I fucking love Shepard.
He is absolutely ridiculous. I've modeled him on Matt Berry in What We Do in the Shadows.
Please do the Shepard voice. I need everyone to hear the Shepard voice.
No, you kind of put me on the spot now. Give me a second.
I can. I sure can, and I did.
But I am a human man. I'm a human man with human necessities.
Amazing. I don't think I could play with that with a straight face.
So hard.
I just wanna just read something out in the chat. Corey, our good friend of the show, Corey, it's great to see you, man. He said he had a player in his main campaign play selfishly a lot and upset others. He had a combo and it got a bit heated. So he told him that if he has a story he wants to play out, to be included, and we can make it narrative. So thanks for that, Corey.
Great compromise, actually. Like,
compromise is so
tell your
good.
Storytellers, tell your GMs what you want to see happen to your character. There is absolutely nothing. It's the biggest thing I've learned from VTM. VTM is all about like the meat and potatoes. What do you want to do with your character? How do you want this story to play out? you might not always get the ending that you want, and that's just how these collaborative games go. But it is important to talk to your GM or storyteller or whomever what you want to see with your character.
I think it's also okay to because sometimes like most of my characters are formed by the game. They are forged in the fire of the game. Like I just the way that my brain works, I don't usually come in with too much in the back. I just like wait to see where the story comes in, and like weird things will happen. Like one of my characters, she was we were playing Monsters and Other Childish Things, and we were children, and the number of ridiculous things that my character was doing, like she was like, okay, we have to trap somebody, so I'm gonna steal the soccer net from my backyard. I'm gonna undo it, bring it, and drop it on this person. And I was like, so my character had thought of all these things, and then I was like, where is she learning all of this? And like, I was like, oh, her uncle must watch pro wrestling. Like that's got like the number of ridiculous things she did. Like where would you get that from? Pro wrestling. But like if you are somebody who comes in with a character who is like deeply formed already, I think it's fair, be fair to your character, talk to your GM, and there are times when that character needs to go back in the box for a little while, and like you can pull her out later.
Yeah.
Not every character is right for every table.
Yeah. And yeah, that's it. I also just want to add on to what you were saying about if you are a player, talk to your GM about what you kind of want and what would like to see in the campaign. But on the flip side of that, as a GM, be prepared to listen to that. Be prepared to kind of pay attention and put the effort in to make it work, because it is collaborative storytelling, and as much as you've got your story and you've got the way you want things to go for your players, if you leave yourself open to that suggestion, to that, hey, could we at some point do this, or you're going to create such a rich fucking experience that you won't get anywhere else.
But again, I will go back to also as a GM, know your limits.
Oh, for sure.
So if I go back to this player who didn't necessarily match with the rest of it, one of the things that she wanted was her patron. Her patron was to her. So, and this is something that I didn't understand at the time. But to her character, her patron was so scary that she literally like wet her pants seeing her patron. And I was like, I can't play that. Like I am not built to play a person that cruel that would cause that kind of reaction. So again, this is another reason why talk to your GM about what you want to happen to your character, and then as a GM be aware of where your limits are, because it is possible that within your limits, like this is not the right place for that character. I also I did this on the player side. I did build a character who was she was based on the girls. I was a residential counselor at one point for a center that took in troubled kids, and we would like they would be sent to us by like the Department of Family and Children or things like that, and so they were having issues. So it was a character built on and kind of an homage to those those girls. And again, like me and my GM, I don't know if I didn't get them to completely understand how much trauma I was packing into her, or if they didn't realize how much of that type of trauma they could stand in their own game.
Yeah.
So even though we had lines and veils, I don't think they wrote down their lines and veils. And that ended up being, okay, this isn't the right game for this character, because the things that I want to explore in there, my GM wasn't able to.
Mm-hmm.
So lines and veils, safety tools, so important. Again, back to Con Zero, based on Session Zero. Lines and veils for both the GM and the players, and then stars and wishes after
I love
every
stars
game.
and wishes. I love me a good session of stars and wishes. So something that like my podcast group introduced to me was RPXP. And the way that works is everyone gets one RPXP to give to somebody else, and you cannot double up on who gets RPXP.
Okay.
So for example, I would give my one RPXP to Zope for that epic battle scene that happened where she totally took out the big bad. That's where I would put mine. And then Zope would have one, and then Juan would have one. And I'll give it around. It's my favorite thing. I have brought it into another game of mine, and everyone there really loves it. It's a really good way to highlight like a character moment, or like a cool combat moment, or just whatever, and be like, hey, this is what I really like that you did. And you get a little bonus on top. Who doesn't love a little extra XP?
This is like an XP point that the RPXP is. So like it's basically an XP for showing up, but you're given it with a really heartwarming comment of like,
yeah,
this is.
I like that.
Yeah,
I do genuinely like that. I did try, because I learned of Stars and Wishes after our Call of Cthulhu one shot that we did, that was GM by Justin.
By Justin. Oh yeah.
One of the
We did use Stars and Wishes after that.
We used Stars and Wishes after that, and I did try bringing it into my Delta Green game, but where it is a pre-written module, it kind of fell flat, because I want my character to go through this, and I'm reading the book kind of going,
ooh,
probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am starting. I've got a Savage Worlds Pathfinder campaign that I'm currently running, and I'm going to start a Savage Worlds homebrew campaign, and I will be bringing Stars and Wishes into that, and maybe that RPXP sort of thing, maybe an extra additional Benny for the next session.
Extra hero point.
Or something like that. Say that to Winter, we can get extra hero points.
Going to Winter, don't listen to this.
No, but
I'm not trying to get extra hero points or anything.
I think having a way to decompress after a session, and kind of break the veil a tiny bit and go into the meta, whether it's because we normally just sit around and discuss for however long, especially with Delta Green, because you definitely need some decompression after that. So we will sit around and just kind of talk about what happened. I mean, my first game back playing Delta Green after my hiatus, after moving, I went and killed a character. So there was definite some decompression needed after that.
Woof. Okay, so I'm writing this down for future topics, but murder.
Character murder. How do we feel?
And no, like, I
In general.
am so curious. First of all, murder in general. I do have a list.
It's normally bad, but
normally bad, but sometimes. But
it's a movable goalpost.
I do think I don't think we have time for it today, but I do think that this is a worthy topic to talk about, which is like, how do your characters deal with murder? And like, because hopefully
It
murder
depends on the
is not
character.
right. Oh, absolutely. But like, hopefully, for the most part, we don't experience murder on a regular basis. But in a lot of our TTRPGs, like imminent danger and murder are things, and I've been, I personally have been find myself a lot of times being like, why would a character be used to murder? Like, this should be upsetting. The first murder should be upsetting. And I think that would be a cool thing to talk about in the future. Like, what characters have you brought in with different views on murder, and how have you dealt with that first one?
The fact that you've actually just taken a note during the recording of this show means that you've already done more work than I have ever done. You have taken this show more seriously than I've ever done in the whole 2.5 years that it's been on air. I fucking love everything about that.
Listen, so
my note is murder. So,
murder
like...
question mark.
It's like a shopping list. So milk, eggs, murder.
Murder?
I just want to pop back to the chat where Corey's following up on what he said previously. He said, it became one of our best storylines, and he surprised me so much by seeking redemption and doing a whole turnaround. Also, hey everyone, you're all great, awesome discussion. And he makes a note to look for a podcast. I think it's probably in reference to something you guys mentioned.
To the VTM podcast.
Yeah.
Follow me on my socials. I'm going to be screaming about it very soon. I am so excited. I love this character. She's a freaking disaster in the best way.
VTM is still on my bucket list.
Let's go.
Okay. So this is probably going to become a running thing. I have a real problem with vampires, and I have a real problem with elves. And my issue I have a real issue with things that live too long, because I feel like understanding the mindset of somebody who has lived 1,000 years is, I'm sure there are brilliant people who can picture it. I can't. Like,
it's an intangible thing.
It's like, because, like, there's things like, when a baby experiences pain for the first time, and it's a small bit of pain, and they react so strongly because that is the extent of pain that they have experienced. And when we get older, like, a shot no longer hurts because we've experienced other kinds of pain. Or, like, as a child, waiting a week for something is just interminable. Like,
what do you mean
deadly.
As a child? Waiting a week as an adult is feels like an eternity.
For me now, waiting a week, sometimes the weeks go by like that. I'm like,
that's fair.
Like, yeah, at one moment, like at the very, very start of that week, looking over the precipice, it's like, oh my God, it's going to be so long. But then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, it's tomorrow. Like, and our experience of time changes, and so like the experience of time as a 1,000-year-old elf can't be anywhere near our experience of time. And I feel like we can't bring justice to 1,000-year-old creatures.
Does anybody here watch anime?
I have
on and off.
Okay, has anyone watched Frieren?
I have heard that I need to.
I highly recommend it, specifically for what you're talking about. So Frieren is a 1,000-year-old elf, and the way she treats time compared to her mortal companions is drastically different. And like, there's always this sort of like disconnect with her about the length of something is to everyone else is like, no, we just kind of need to go. Like, we need to do this. So there is a point in the show where they stop and they're in the city, and it looks like they're going to have to stay in that city for 2 years before they can move on. And Frieren was like, okay, whatever. Like, and just reading a book. Like, and everyone else is like, what the crap? No, let's figure this out now.
Yeah. I think
So
I'd really enjoy exploring that, whether it's in a VTM game or whether it's in a whether it's as an elf in a high fantasy setting. I'd love to kind of explore that and
yeah.
just kind of try and figure out the sort of logical connections to how that person would think.
And like, so much kudos to anybody who can do that. But for me,
I
it's
can't.
like
It's hard.
easier. It is easier for me to imagine being an alien, having shot through space and turned up on a whole, like, this planet where everything is different. That is easier for me
Mhm.
to imagine than imagining having lived for 1,000 years.
I think they address it quite well in Supernatural. Because I'm a huge Supernatural geek, but I
Same.
think in the later seasons you do kind of meet a lot of these characters in the show who
Ancient
are
characters.
ancient beings, and their sort of frivolity in regards to existence is just, it shines through.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
very fast and loose with it. They're like, yeah, if I die, whatever. I've been around for 1,000 years. It's fine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, but it's so hard to make them die. It's so hard to
Mm.
so yes, I find that dichotomy of things that have lived for an extended period of time being very fast and loose with their life and being like, well, you can try. I love that.
And
At the same time, I have a hard time fathoming like that mindset because I am one of those people who's like, well, if I die, I die, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's such a weird, and I've never thought about it. Honestly, I've never thought about the mindset of something that is ancient and that has been around for thousands of years.
Also, there's this is something I hadn't thought about before, but does it get scarier to die as you get older? If you're supposed to live for 1,000 years, does it get scarier to die? Like,
this took a
you know-
deep turn.
Woof.
I'm loving it. Do you think they just get to the point now where you've got this immortal being just sitting around kind of going,
I'm fucking bored.
oh,
like
come on.
I think that there are definitely people, like, I can imagine like an elf, if their life expectancy is 1,000 years, they get to 1,000 years and they're like, okay, I'm good, I'm ready to go. But I'm thinking about like a 20 or a 50-year-old human versus a 50-year-old elf. Like, to die as a 50-year-old elf
You're
would
a
be
baby.
so much more
You're a
devastating.
baby.
Like, they would have such a greater, like, on one hand, this idea that, like, it doesn't matter like how long things take, like, you know, you need to grow a tree for 7 years to get your golden apple, no big deal. But also, like, an arrow's coming for me and I could cut my life down short and like lose 950 years of greatness. Like,
So do you think they do the whole thing that we do when it's like, oh, it's only 23 sleeps till Christmas? Do you think they do it like it's only 1,740 sleeps till the year 2000 and something?
yeah.
Maybe.
You know, but it's a really valid question. And Chris, my friend Chris, who plays in our Parastan games, he always struggles with like with a similar sort of thing about the age of races, where it's like, okay, so if I am a 25-year-old dwarf, has my culture educated me to the same level as a human culture would? Or because they've got more time, am I still playing around with like kiddies' toys? Or
Right, because like we're even seeing in today's world, like, before 13 years old, oh, that's good enough, you can go get married now. And now 13 years old is like, that is a child, what do you
That's a literal
mean?
child.
And like, so that's your, or, you know, like, back in the day, 13 years old, go work in the mines, versus 13 years old, you should be in school, you should be enjoying things. So there's gotta be that lengthening of time.
Some elven culture where it's like, Dad, I'm 150 years old. I'm not a child anymore. It's like, well, you're still living under my tree and all this crap. You know?
So when back, like way back, like 10 plus years ago, I played a high elf, and she didn't get to leave and go start exploring until she was 150 years old, because that's when she was deemed an adult by her culture. And I thought that was very interesting. So like I came into the party, and the party is filled with like, you know, actual human adults or like dwarven adults. And then there is my character who's really been around for objectively a long time, but like she was really naive because she'd never left home before. So like there was a lot of just social faux pas that she did that she didn't even realize were social faux pas, because like she'd never experienced it before. And everyone was like, how are you this old and this dumb? And she was like, I've never experienced the world. I just left yesterday.
Yes.
What if, and this is just occurred to me now, what if in like elven culture they do kind of like education cycles? Because if you're a being who lives for 1,000 years, I mean, I'm 43 years old and I forget shit all the fucking time. So imagine if you're a being who's like, so maybe every like 150 and 200 years is like, right, you've got to go back to school.
Gotta go back to school.
Go back.
Oh shoot! Like I learned how to do multiplication back then, but I don't remember how to do it now.
I haven't used it for 200 years. Let's go back. And it's just a case of I mean, my fucking work does it every year with hand lifting and handling. I've got to do that shit every year because apparently I'm going to forget how to pick things up. So imagine, so maybe like elven culture, they have to do that.
The re-education. I mean, I have a cosmetology degree, and every 4 years we have to
reapply,
take continuous education courses.
Oh yeah, we laboratory safety we have to do every year, hazardous waste, so many things. I fucking have to take formaldehyde training every year. Like
that sounds so fun. What? No.
It's just like how to get rid of it safely.
Fire safety, that's one.
So wait, what do you do, if you don't mind me asking? I want to derail.
So I am a scientist. I work for a pharmaceutical company doing GI research.
Oh shit.
So like IBD,
that's
Crohn's
why
disease,
you take
that
notes.
kind of stuff.
There we go. That's why Zoop is the most diligent one out of the three of us.
I'm an artist. I have no hope. Listen, ADHD runs this brain.
I mean, art and music. I just love people who can do art and music because they're like so difficult to me.
Aww.
I'm like, I try to draw a circle and I'm like, this is the ugliest thing. This is a square. I tried to draw a circle and it's a square.
Yeah, kind of like.
To be honest, I share your talent, Zoop, for art. Nope. I love like in our Parasan game, like Misfit's character is a drawn character by her, and she is absolutely fucking gorgeous. I booted up Soul Calibur 6 and used their fucking character generator. And just went, there you go.
Amazing.
Hold on. I have her sketch somewhere.
Oh, you've got her somewhere. Oh, she's gorgeous. Ooh. She is.
This is my character.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, she's amazing.
And honestly, this is why I make money, is so that I can pay people to make art of my characters.
We fucking love you.
I make money to give my cat a better life and to buy art of my characters.
I have a very dear friend who like is a huge patron of the arts, and as an artist who is reliant on art, thank you so much. And I might speak on behalf of many artists when I say thank you. We need people like you. Please pay real artists.
Yes, absolutely.
No, I mean, 100%. I mean, if someone's got a talent, then they should be rewarded for that
Agreed.
talent.
100%.
You know, I don't have a talent, so I don't get rewarded for fuck all.
No, you do. I mean, and it's messed up that like I happen to have grown up with a talent and interest in something that people have deemed like you know, something that you can make money with. It's
Useful.
not anymore. It's not like and art and culture and music is so fundamental to us existing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't
actually-
get through my day without listening to music.
Oh,
Like,
same. I actually want to like derail this conversation onto a better track. So something that my friend Fish Finley has
Oh, yeah.
really instilled in me is calling what most people perceive as a talent a skill. So since the rise of AI, I have wanted to really focus and learn how to draw a humanoid figure. I have sat down and watched God knows how many tutorials. I have watched I have several different art books on how this is done. I have several anatomy books. And I practice constantly, but that's a skill. That's something that you can learn how to do. You can actually train yourself how to do it. And the thing where Fish really, really drove this home was how important it is that we stop calling things a talent. Like you can be naturally gifted in it, but if you don't refine those skills and hone those skills,
I think by talent, I definitely usually when I'm using the word talent, I mean it to be a predisposition towards. So like I would not say I'm talented in science. I would say that like I have like worked on my skills and like the thought processes and like most of what I do I think that anybody could do, but I've been gifted with the predisposition towards finding that interesting and collecting that information and thinking about how to put that into practice. And I think that that's the same thing. Like when I say, oh, you know, like a musician is really talented or an artist is really talented, it is that they have that predisposition to put in that work to create beautiful works of art. But they don't want to dismiss at all the amount of like incredible work that it takes.
Yeah, like
I think
it's
I think those two terms can go hand in hand.
Like I've always had a knack, quote unquote, for like dancing and the arts and whatnot. I think
there is a subset of people who do see a talent as something unachievable, as something you've either got it or you don't. Well, we know that that's bullshit. We know that, you know, a talent, even if you do have a predisposition, you need to work at it. And if you don't, it's talent wasted.
Yes.
And
put energy into it.
I do think they do go hand in hand, and I think it's something if you find that you have an affinity to be able to do something, you are then more inclined to kind of pursue it. For example, myself, I don't have an affinity for visual art. I don't have an affinity for learning an instrument. So my sort of direction has always been more towards writing. It's always been more towards writing. It's always been more towards the more sciencey sort of things, not to Zoop's level in any way, shape, or form. I discovered women and drugs at an early age, and that was my education done. But I do have that. I've got more of a capacity to absorb that information than I do about musical information, as an example.
There's also social, like we also can't forget the fact that there is social learning as well, and that is, I think that is something that people sometimes when they're like, well, I don't have artistic, I don't have scientific, I don't have mathematical, but like social intelligence and like empathy is a muscle, and all of that kind of that is also something that you practice. Like, it does come more naturally to some people, but it is something that that people practice to you know, if I react a certain way to somebody, how do I get, like, what kind of reaction do I get back?
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, I'm thoroughly enjoying this conversation. We could actually go on speaking for, I personally, another couple of hours. But I did promise you guys it'd be an hour-long show, and we've hit an hour and 5. So I do think it is time to probably bring this one to a close. And, you know, this is the new beginning. This is the new start of Too Legit to Crit. And I, for one, am so fucking excited to see where we take this. I want to say thank you to you both for joining me.
Thank you.
Also want to give a big, huge thank you to the Dungeon Maestro for the use of our theme song. It is All That Jazz. Find them on YouTube. They are so fucking, again, talented. They are great people as well. So check them out. So guys, do you want to shout out where people can find you on the internet?
Sure, I'll go first. So, again, most places you can find me as Zoot Machine. I have a card that needs to be updated, but it's zootmachine.card.co. Convention Zero, Con Zero is a thing that we're trying to put on regularly during certain big cons, and then maybe in the future, even on its own merit, an online convention that allows TTRPG enthusiasts, whether it is designers, players, AP people, all of those different people, anybody who loves TTRPGs in any way, shape, or form, to come together online. And I'm also co-GM on Game Master Monday, where we play a different game with a different cast every week. At least that's how it's been, and we're feeling out if we want to move more miniseries wise or whatever. But yeah, I love playing games, and if you want to play a game together, streamed or not, hit me up.
All right, Misfit.
Hi, it is Misfit. It's Misfit_Playland, literally on all of the socials. You can find me pretty much everywhere. Except I don't do that app. For so many reasons.
The Nazi app.
I wasn't gonna say it. Listen, I live in the United States. We get in trouble for that shit now.
Here's to being a Brit. Although I'm a Spaniard living in England, my time is fucking nothing. So I'm gonna cause as much chaos as I can.
Hell yeah. Outside of that, I am a board member for the Crit Awards, so you can find me doing that stuff. If you all have any questions ever about the Crit Awards, please message me. I'm super open and will absolutely answer them to the best of my abilities. You can find me on Vampire with No Name, which is the podcast that's coming out under Dubious Creatures. Super excited. You can find me on Roll D5 occasionally, or it's okay. Really, it's just easier to follow me on my socials because I'm a little bit everywhere. The Chaos Gremlin Chaos is a lot.
As for myself, I am present on social media, although I have taken a massive step back from it. But you can find me at Natural Juan on everywhere. If you want to find out more about the show, you want to follow us in any way, shape, or form, toolegit2crit.com. Come and check us out there. You'll find all the information you need. Other than that, I just want to say thank you to everyone who kind of joined us in the chat. It was absolutely amazing to see you guys. It's fucking great to be back. And I just want to thank everyone who's taken their time out of their busy day to listen to us waffle on about tabletop role-playing games. Thank you very much. Good night.